The pandemic has thrown a wrench into the summer travel season, and while many people have canceled or changed up their vacation plans, flights are still in operation and people are finding ways to get around. Emily Kaufman, also known as the Travel Mom, she joins us to talk about who's traveling by air, the Europe travel ban, and when the travel industry may return to normal. Welcome to the show, Emily.
Hi, it's great to be with you.
Well, let's get right into it. What can people expect when traveling on a plane nowadays? Are families still traveling by air, or are people just flying around for business?
Well, it's a real combination. I've traveled to 3 different destinations recently because I wanted to educate and inform myself so I could share accurate information. And what we're seeing at the airport is a totally different experience. There are limited number of food stands and outlets open. If you're planning to travel by air, you want to bring whatever food that you want with you. They're handing out a little bag when you board the flight that has a bottle of water and a cookie in it. So you want to be prepared to bring things. You're expected to wear your mask the entire time. Several airlines are really doing a good job. I've been very impressed with Delta and JetBlue. They're limiting the number of people on their flights. They're keeping that middle seat open. They're doing a wonderful job. Some of the others I'm really not pleased with. I'm kind of disappointed. And according to ABC News, this past weekend was the busiest air travel weekend since the pandemic began. And it was a lot of leisure people going to rural destinations. We're not seeing a lot of business travel right now, although the number of drivers was 15 times what the number of air travelers were over the holiday weekend.
Oh, wow, that's really interesting. What else should people be thinking about or be prepared for if they're headed out to an airport?
Well, I think that it's really important that you remember, even though protocol and safety have been put in place to help keep you as healthy and safe as possible, the responsibility is yours. There are social distancing markers. You've got to adhere to those. You've got to keep your mask on. I do gloves when I'm going through TSA just to make sure that I'm doing well. And when you're with a kid, remember, it's your responsibility to make sure that your child is safe and protected too.
Yeah, lots of preparation and things to think about if you're going to head out to do some air travel. Now, last week, Europe announced travel restrictions on Americans because of where we're at with the coronavirus pandemic. What do we need to know about that?
Well, for people that were planning to go to Europe, that's a great big disappointment. And I understand that people really want that trip. I love traveling to Europe. The thing that we could do is look at some destinations that are either drive to or easy to get to that have a European feel. It's not quite the same, but at least you can go to Solvang, which is like a little sweet Dutch village. You can go up to Leavenworth, Washington, which feels like you're in a Bavarian town. When the time is right and you're ready for air travel, Montreal in Canada has a really great French feel to it. I have a Facebook page, The Travel Mom. I don't sell anything on that page. I give trips away, and it's a really nice community. I tossed out that question, asking people for recommendations where they could go if they're looking for a European feel, and so many people chimed in. If anybody wants to check that out, there's a lot of great answers on there.
Those are some good ideas. Now, when we talk about that Europe travel ban, do we know how long those restrictions are going to last?
We don't. Everything is so fluid and in motion right now. If you're looking for international travel, I can tell you the Caribbean is open right now, and they've got amazing guidelines in place where you have to submit a travel authorization form 72 hours in advance. You're subject to COVID testing once you get there. For example, in Jamaica, they only had 615 cases in the entire country because they shut down the country and just recently are reopening it with guidelines in place. So you might want to consider the Caribbean if you're looking for an international getaway.
Yeah, I think right now people really have to weigh what they're willing to do and assess their own risk. Those are great alternatives. Now, when we talk about the future, going back to normal, it's probably safe to say that some of those changes are here to stay. Any idea how long it will be until the airline industry can recover to where it was pre-COVID?
No, the airline industry has been rocked by this pandemic, and it's going to take a really long time to return to normal. And whatever normal is going to be, your travel experience that you had a year ago is not going to look and feel anything like what your travel experience now. will be, whether it's traveling by air or going to a resort or going to a destination. There are so many limits and protocol and measures in place. And I said it earlier and you just accentuated it again. It's your responsibility to adhere to those. If the protocol's in place and you don't follow it, it's not going to work.
Yeah, you're so right. And when we look at the travel industry in general, the big picture, is this going to shift the way we vacation and where we're going?
Oh, it definitely is right now. And we really don't know. Like I keep saying, it's fluid. It's day to day. We're taking it little by little. What we're seeing is a resurgence of the Great American Road Trip. So maybe we're going back to something that was very popular before instead of moving forward. We're going to great outdoors places. We're spending time with our families and reconnecting. We've all been home, working from home, doing school from home. Get out, get in the wilderness, get to a beach, get somewhere where you can be with your family away from technology. Because I'm telling you, in the blink of an eye, your children are grown. And when I look back at some of my fondest memories, they include making travel memories with them.
Emily, it has been so great talking to you, getting some of your advice and insight. It's really interesting. I guess we're going to be looking, instead of places where we can gather, maybe some places where we can just get away and be alone. How can our viewers keep up with you and all your travel tips?
Well, I have great social media at Instagram and Facebook at The Travel Mom. Like I said earlier, I give trips away. I don't sell anything. And I have a website, thetravelmom.com. Would love to engage with everybody.
All right, Emily Kaufman, The Travel Mom, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
This interview involves commercial content. The products and services featured appear as paid advertising.